There's a lot of fear around AI, and there's also a thought pattern that AI will take over our thinking for us.
Mhm.
I believe that it can make room for you and your intuition. And I'm writing a book about it. It's actually called Biohacking Conscious Decision Making with AI. And it's using the tool of AI with your intuition.
Welcome to the Life by Design podcast. I'm your host, Kim Ward, a certified master life and business coach, NLP practitioner, and your guide to building a life and business that you absolutely love. Here, we're all about empowering family-focused entrepreneurs to design a leveraged business that supports your dreams, your values, and most importantly, your family. Each episode, we'll dive into practical strategies, mindset shifts, and powerful insights to help you create unstoppable momentum and lasting success without sacrificing what matters most. Whether you're looking to grow your business or get unstuck or align your goals with your lifestyle, you're in the right place. So let's get intentional, let's get inspired, and let's design a life you love by design. Let's dive in. Today, we are very, very excited to have a conversation with a very dear friend and a spiritual advisor and an intuitive, Karen Romine. Karen, I just want to thank you. Yeah, Rich is a huge fan. I'm a
Major
huge
fan.
Major. Slow your roll, baby. It's okay.
Right.
What do you love most about Karen?
Everything.
You sound like Adriana and you yell at her when she
this
gives you that
actually is,
response.
then I understand her by saying everything. So
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Everything.
Everything.
Well, Karen, welcome to the party. I don't think you know what you signed up for today, but you're a brave soul.
I am so grateful to be here, and I love everything about you too, Rich.
That's it.
I have no comment. No, yes.
Baby.
I do too. Unconditional love. So Karen, I've known you for a few years, and something about your energy just really instantly connected with mine. And then I learned more about what you do. And we're humans having a very human experience. And a lot of times we find ourselves looking for answers to questions that sometimes we can't help ourselves with.
Right.
And that's where your guidance, your intuitive guidance comes in. So tell us a little bit about what you do in your own words, because if we leave it up to Rich or myself, we may very well botch it.
No, I don't think you'll botch it at all because you both understand the concept. And although it's personalized for everybody, it's also generalized, for lack of a better way to put it. So my background is in corporate America, 30 plus years, big deals, Fortune 500 companies, lots of stuff. And I realized through a kind of a scary situation around human trafficking, which I won't go into right now, that I was really leaning on my intuition. I had no idea how important it was or what an impact it was, and I was doing it without thinking about it. And it guided me to where it was I needed to be. And when I figured out the strength of the tool, intuition, and I realized that you have the same hammer in your toolbox, Rich has the same in his, that I felt like it was my calling to teach people how to use that. And I believe that when you listen to your intuition, when you're connected to source, you're listening to that intuition, you're listening to that message, you're receiving it clearly. When you follow it, you're aligned. So you're in your purpose, you're in your space. It feels right. It's going to flow better. Now, sometimes that's around making a decision. Sometimes it's making a decision about a here and now question that we have, making a move, changing our job, changing the direction of our business. Sometimes it's about working with emotional trauma. And I say trauma, it sounds, we associate this with something big just because of the word, but trauma can be very small. It can be a pebble in the bottom of your shoe that is annoying the heck out of you and causing you to not walk correctly or not walk as far. So sometimes it's clearing, working on self-forgiveness, forgiveness of others, and in that space also.
And I would disagree on one thing. If Rich and I compared hammers, he would say that his is bigger than mine.
He probably has more also.
For sure. Yeah.
But every single one of them does the same thing. It's a hammer.
I love that. Yeah, and so true. So, if someone is, oh gosh, out of alignment, right? They're just not sure if they can trust their gut. In what ways would that present? I mean, I know everybody is different, right? Of course.
Yeah. You used this at the beginning in the way that you were talking about it. We're human. We are not monks living on a mountain in peace and calm, and all we do is meditate. I'm not sure. I was going to say it'd be lovely, but I'm not even sure I could switch into that gear, right? We're human. We're going to think about things like what we forgot at the grocery store, picking our kids up or our work stuff or whatever, all of our day-to-day things. So we get focused on our past. It's our baggage. So we say, geez, all of a sudden we just know it feels good to take our business in this direction. We just know it. And then our life comes in. Oh, yeah, but I kind of tried that last time and that wasn't right. Yeah, and then I did this. And then, well, I can't do that because on Thursdays I do this. Like, we talk ourselves right out of it. It's very easy to do because we're human and we have these experiences that have kept us safe until now. And our brain is geared to keep us safe 24/7. So unless you have a background such as Rich and you're helping other people to be safe, for the most part, we're just focused on our own safety. So our brain thinks it's helping us by bringing in, oh, you can't do that because on Thursdays you do this. So we get out of alignment. Then we force that decision to fit our past. It stops our growth. It keeps us in that box. It keeps us in misalignment. It's not bad alignment because it's gotten us to where we are today, but it's just misalignment. It's just like we turned left, we should have turned right. GPS can still take us back over there. It's like our GPS system. So when you're in alignment is before you get into your head about it. It's that first blush of, oh, I think this would be a great idea. It's when you go into a room and it's filled with strangers and you walk in and you're like, wow, I think this is going to be fun. Whoa, what was I thinking? Oh my gosh, I'm going to stand over here by the wall. I'm going to stand here and observe. Your GPS is guiding you straight into that room. It knows. Your intuition knows, but then your baggage says stand over here. So it just takes you a little longer to get integrated into it. So from my perspective, the intuition is staying in alignment with that first thought. And the way you can check this, it's super easy. I call it yes, no.
I know how you can check it, you big
whoever's out there right now watching this, I want you to think about a yes, no question that you have in life. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it's about. It just needs to be something that can be answered with a yes or a no. And I just want you to take in a deep breath and just focus on how you physically feel right now. You're thinking about your question. Think about how you feel. Because right now I'm getting ready to tell you the answer is no. It's a hard no. Now I want you to think about how you feel. We're watching Rich's face and we're watching Kim's face. We got two separate things going on here. Rich is
I
like,
was watching. I think Rich wants to fight now because you said no.
No, no, no. I'm
Rich
no,
is,
I'm just listening. I'm
yes,
listening. Look
Rich
how
is,
red I am.
huh? And Kim is in a big smile. How you feel is what your gut is telling you. That's your intuition. It's not a hard no. I'm just getting you to feel what that reaction is. If you felt super comfortable when I said that's a hard no, then follow your intuition because that's a hard no. If you intuitively went, oh, whoa, 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 wait a minute, I think it's a yes. It's a yes. That's your intuition telling you.
So
You can do that with other people. You can find your spouse, your friend, your whatever, and say, I just need you to say yes or no.
Hmm.
I have a friend who sends me messages all the time on social media. She just says yes or no,
I love that.
just to test herself.
I like
I
it.
love it. So we were all on a Zoom the other day, the three of us, and Karen did that with me. And when she said no to me, I was very defensive, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Ha! Now you know
Mm-hmm.
in alignment because that's what you want. That's really what you're, called to be and do right now." And I've converted my husband. He'll probably kill me, but I'm a huge Friends fan. And so whether he likes it or not, he has to watch Friends. And that night after Karen did that to me, I was like, oh, that's just like when Rachel was pregnant and she peed on the pregnancy test and Phoebe said it's negative, and Rachel was like, oh. And Phoebe goes, just kidding. It's really positive. And Rachel was like, and she realized how truly happy she was to be pregnant. I was like, oh, Karen, that was sneaky.
That is so great. And I swear, like, we get universal answers like that just to reconfirm things for us. It's much easier for us to see it in other people, right? We can look at somebody and say, oh, they're grouchy all the time, or oh, they shouldn't be doing that in their life. It's very easy for us. And it's unfortunately led by a little bit of judgment, which we need to learn to release that, right? It's not for us to judge. But as we watch other people and we see them, you asked me about your business. I was like, I could feel your energy shifting in social media, in our brief text messages, everything. I was very clear on where it was you were going. I was absolutely amazed that you had not clearly lined all of this out. You already had all the tools you needed for this. You had the tool for this.
Yes.
So when I come to you and I say that, it's not, the other thing is that I think that we look for an easy way out. We just want somebody to just tell us.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know that it's not your own desires overcoming your intuition?
Your own desires overcoming your intuition. That's an interesting way of putting that. So yes, so I hear what you're saying.
Did I throw you for a loop?
I'm trying to think of an easy test to do with that other than yes, no, to give you another example. I'll give you another way of doing this.
Right.
This will be sort of off the curb a little bit.
All
And
right.
I haven't really put this out there yet, but since I've already shared with you, I'll share with your universe.
All right.
I am a proponent of AI. There's a lot of fear around AI, and there's also a thought pattern that AI will take over our thinking for us.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it can make room for you and your intuition. And I'm writing a book about it. It's actually called Biohacking Conscious Decision Making with AI. And it's using the tool of AI with your intuition. The AI is going to handle this is what I want to do. And then make room for you to make sure you're in alignment with your intuition. So what you can do is go to AI, and in the book, it'll be all the prompts, everything how to do this, but it's about having a conversation with, we'll just call it a robot for the sake of the story, with a robot that has no emotion, no stake in the game, no anything. You can go in and say, this is my story. I've lived in this house for 25 years, and there's something in me that says that I really want to move, but I'm really not sure. And my wife says we should move. And the last time we moved, this happened and that happened. You just purge. And you can try to convince AI that you really should not move, right? Because that's your head saying, I really, really don't want to move. And then ask AI, ask the robot who has no skin in the game, what patterns do you see? And let the patterns come back and say, geez, Rich, so the last time you moved because of this and this and this. And it looks like you moved based on your rambling above, that you moved because you were afraid. And as I look at this now, it appears that we have fear around this. And could it be that this is what's driving your decision? Now, you've had somebody, you can't argue with them. They didn't yell at you. And no skin in the game. It just is what it is. You can argue back with them and then say, now take that. And I want you to analyze that again and get more input. And what happens is it starts to clear the data and the strategy, right? Those are things that we go outsource for. We need to set up a strategy, have a game plan. We need the data to accumulate so that we can make the right strategy. When that's moved off the plate and we're like, oh, okay, I see this, then it frees us up to say, okay, how do I really feel about that move? Yeah. So that's, it happened to me accidentally. I love AI. I'm fascinated just to learn and grow and see what's out there. I got in a couple of masterminds, and now I just started using it in different ways. It's very easy, common sense for me on business because it's geared that way. But I was like, oh, what happens if I do that with this? And I wanted to make a decision about my business, which took me down a whole personal rabbit hole. And I was like, and the more I sat on it, and the more I listened to my intuition, the more excited I got, and the happier I was. And then I knew I was on track.
Nice.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Rich and I, we met with someone probably a couple of years ago before we fell into your world and loved everything about you, which was immediate. Her ears must ring because we talk about you like every single day. Every single day, there's Karen Romine in this house, whether you want to believe it or not. The way that this woman described kind of what you're saying is we know, like if our palms are sweaty, we know physical reactions. And she was talking about when that decision comes, that yes or no, it'll feel expansive. And you can feel the energy, even just like expansive. I know what that feels like. It's light, everything is, in tune. And then if it's constrictive, we can feel that. But so many times we know the answer and we're afraid to make the call, either because we don't want to be the responsible party, we want someone else to choose it for us, we're afraid of what might go wrong, so this is awesome. When you said you had an AI book coming out for intuition and just kind of help guide, I thought, I can't wait to see how this comes together. So do you have a date yet for when the book will be out?
It's in editing. It will be out this summer. I don't have the exact date. I will definitely let you know when it comes out. And I also just want to comment too on what you were just saying. We talk about things in our own experience. The lady that you experienced, I completely understand expansive and constrictive, right? Like if your gut tightened and you want to fight back, it's a no. You're against it. It's not in alignment with you. What I find is that it is different for everybody. For me, it's expansive, constrictive. Some people feel warm and hot.
Mm.
I talked to somebody the other day and we were doing it, and she said, my fingertips. I said, how does your body feel? And she says, I don't know, my fingertips feel numb. And I said, huh, is that uncomfortable or kind of like it feels like a mini massage? She says, very uncomfortable. There you go. So you're looking for that uncomfortable thing. And I believe that source knows us, right? Like knows us. They know, he, she, however it is you look at that, knows all of our triggers, every last one of them. And so if they understand the quickest way to get our attention is like right now we're in oak season. I'm coughing all the time. Coughing doesn't bother me. I got on, bothers other people. I got on to talk to somebody to do some coaching, and I said, excuse me, I might cough a few times. And you could see just his skin start to glisten. And I said, "Ooh, that's a trigger for him." I said, is that going to be okay, or do you want to reschedule? He said, my dad passed from lung cancer. So if we're doing yes, no with him, and suddenly he coughs, or suddenly I cough, his body reacts. It's a trigger. And source wants to get his attention really fast. That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Man, energy is everything. It's everything.
Yeah, we are bodies of water for the most part, right? We're physical, but we're water. And our ripple effect, just like a rock into a lake, that ripple effect, it moves from me to you to everybody. All it moves out to our neighbors. It moves out to our people we're working with. It moves out in a conscious and subconscious way. So have you ever heard of Emoto? I love to tell this story. I'm going to detour the talk. Sorry, I'm hijacking. Oh, this is like one of my favorite things because it's science. I'm such a science geek and I'm such a skeptic, and I always like proof. So there's a scientist, Masaru Emoto. Just remember Emoto, and you can Google that and you'll see all the studies. He does studies with water droplets, just little bitty water droplets in a container, and he puts a word on the container. It might be on a piece of paper under or taped onto it, but the water can see the word. Then he did things like hate, misery, death, like things that have very negative connotations. You're terrible. The inner voice, I want you to think about this for a second. All the things that we say to ourselves, which is much harder and much worse than anybody else would say to you. You're never going to do that. What are you thinking? You're crazy. You're wrong. He does all of that, and then he freezes those water droplets while they're looking at those words, and they come back as like these blobs. I don't know how else to describe it. Then he does all of these words like love and gratitude and thank you and I love you and all positive things, and the crystal structures in them is unbelievable. Please Google Emoto and look at the studies. And what that's saying is that words have such a significant power on all of us individually. And when we have that crystalline, beautiful ice structure inside of us, it impacts everybody around us. Sorry, that was a detour. I just
No, it's true. And I would think to the opposite also. The negativity is just tremendous. And you're around certain people and you can just feel the negativity, and it's
I always think it would be so hard to be that negative every day. I'm so blessed that that's not my space. It just never has been. I had to learn how to quit worrying, but I never had that negative side.
We
Mm.
say that all the time. You always tell people it takes more energy to be negative than it is to be positive and to smile. I mean, I spoke on a virtual summit today, and as soon as I entered the room, my energy was like down here. It just, the energy was off for me. So Rich comes in afterwards. He's like, "How was it?" And I was like, "Don't ask." Like it was not my thing, but you feel that. What?
Do you know what that is? That's called being an empath.
Oh,
Do you know what that is?
tell me more.
Oh my gosh. When you logged onto the call, were you like, all right, I'm going to get on the call, I'm going to do my thing. And then you got on, you went,
Immediately,
yeah,
yes.
we're tips, that ripple effect that we just talked about. But when you're an empath, you tend to feel other people's energy more. You're more susceptible to it, not like you're Teflon and it's just bouncing back into the universe. So you got on, and people were on, and they were probably stressed or worried, or maybe there had been some conflict before you got on, or who knows what had happened. Somebody said something that was a little off, and the whole room went,
Mm-hmm.
and you came in, and everybody's like in that energy, and that ripple effect is coming to you, and you are very empathic because and you know from your coaching and your clients when you're working with people, the both of you, you
Mm-hmm.
can walk into the room and be ready to go on the call and be like, I think we need to do a detour. What's going on here?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Right? That's listening, being aware of the situation. So, yeah.
As my husband would say, how are you aware when you're not aware that you're aware? Dang it.
Ugh.
Here he goes.
Just
Karen,
paying more and more attention.
I gotta know, what's your favorite thing about what you do?
My favorite thing is aha.
And don't say talking to people.
Don't say everything.
Aha.
Just, uh-huh.
It's when
Oh.
you see someone's eyes
Mm-hmm.
go, or somebody do the yes, no, and they're like,
You
Mm-hmm.
it's
know
that moment. And I say that most of my clients are women because they are. But it's so much fun to work with men because their ahas are so much more significant. Like they come in like this.
No, not everybody.
I know,
A little bit.
feeling energy, right? All right, come on, let's go. And so it's different when all of a sudden you see like their whole body shift in their aha. It's a more dramatic aha. But I think that's my favorite thing is to watch people come into alignment and realize, wow, this feels really good
Yeah.
around whatever it is, whatever they're losing sleep over or thinking about or planning or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know, Rich knows that intuition is there, but sometimes we look for that validation from someone like yourself just to make sure, okay, either we're in tune or we're in touch with our own intuition. Babe, I know you've got questions for Karen. What do you want to ask
The
her?
problem is when she talks, I get so enthralled in what she's saying, I don't even think about anything anymore.
I think he is the president of your fan club.
Absolutely. I mean, well, it's just, I've had my time with you, and some of the stuff that's come out is like, there's no way. There's no way somebody knows this. It's impossible,
He's helping you.
especially when my wife doesn't even know.
Hmm.
So it's just it's humbling. It just opens up a whole nother realm of existence and understanding of, we're not by ourselves in a sense. We're always with all the time, and it's just I don't know. I mean, I literally could surround my life with it, and it would be interesting. But it's crazy to develop and to have that level of intuition, as you would say. So,
Yes. A lot around, it's really, to me, it's very faith driven.
yes.
If you're raised in an environment where faith of any sort is there, it asks us to have blind faith,
Mhm.
right? To just accept and understand. And there's never for sure any really for sure answer that blind faith in religious context is there, because we don't really have any facts for sure, because people always argue about everything. So you're never for sure, is your book that your religion is based on really factual, or there's always all this baggage. So when you can work with someone and go into what I call non-Googleable information, which is fact to you because you knew it to be so, you absolutely experienced it, and then share that so that you understand that I understand, and then give you the information that you need, or that's serving you, or that needs to be given to you. It's very humbling for me to be able to do it.
Oh, without a doubt.
And it's a great honor that people would trust me in that space. And I also find so much joy in watching that, and allow that impact is something for me, but only on the aha side.
Right.
I don't have your facts. I just know what I know. I give you what it is that I have. So yeah, it's a really,
Thinking about something.
I'm thinking about something. Yeah, I am. I had an appointment with this guy. He was very determined exactly what it was, what information he needed. He came in very closed. That's another thing too, right? It's our human brain. All I want to know is A or B. Now I'm going to get a detour on this, but I'm going to try to stay focused. So he came in and he was very determined. He wanted this specific information from someone who had passed. And I started giving him information, and I kept giving him information, and I knew it to be true. I knew it to be non-Googleable information that was true for him. And he kept saying, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, oh my gosh, were you on your porch last night? He says, yeah. I said, you were home alone? He's probably thinking, stalker? I'm like, yes. I said, did you see a shooting star? He doesn't even respond. He's just staring at me at this point. I said, did you drop a bad word when you saw that star shoot through the sky? He said, yeah. I said, I need you to listen to me.
Oh my gosh.
And so sometimes too, it's because the information that we think we want, I always say, it's like me right now. This is no lie. My left hip is killing me. I have no idea why, but I'm convinced it has nothing to do with my left hip. It's probably because I'm walking funny because my right foot is off or something, right? Like it's always something traveling. We think we're so focused. We're so adamant on what that is that we need. And sometimes it has nothing to do with that. So it's also about having faith and being open that whatever comes to us for a reason.
So do you have like a particular type of person that you prefer to work with, or someone who's in a certain space that you prefer to work with?
Don't have a preference at all on who I work with. I love the experience. However, it is better for the person that I'm working with if they come open for anything, open for what it is they need. I pray before I start every session, and I say, please bring me what it is they need in a way that they'll understand, right? It's nothing to do about me. It's only about whoever it is that I'm working with. And I need it to make sense to them, not to me, but to them. So there goes. She's, crying outside BRB. She's on the run. So I think that it's very important that the person that I work with is in that space of being open.
I have to, when we first met, well, I'm pretty sure you know, but it was like, my biggest thing was, okay, I'm not going to feed into anything right away. Well, no, it wasn't this. It was like, I had to make myself almost slow down and not get in front of you, if that makes sense. Like, if you gave me a glimmer of what I'm already thinking, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't jumping in front of you. Obviously, you blew my mind away every time. Once you started bringing things up that, like you say, non-Googleable, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It's crazy. And that's really when I finally not finally, but for the most part, finally opened up fully and went, okay, let's go. You know.
I call it my lab syndrome, which people wouldn't understand, but we used to have a lab and he just had to be first. He had no idea where we were going. He would haul butt all the way this way and then see us going this way, just make a U-turn, run back this way. He just needed to be first. And so what you did was you came in as the lab, you were going to be first. And then all of a sudden, when I turned this way, you were like, oh, she knows something. So then you're a little bit more keen on, I never would want somebody to follow me, but you're more on the same path with me, walking down the path, seeing it unfold.
I will tell you though, as a person of faith that I am, I've also been very open-minded and not closed off to different things in this world. And so I have been known to be called a little woo-woo. And so my husband has kind of come along these experiences with me. And so, of course, there was probably a moment where he's like, what is my wife getting me
Several
into
times.
now?
I was anything but open-minded. Anything.
I don't think that I'm not that I'm aware of. I believe that as a whole, most of the major religions anyway, believe that there's life after death, right? That in some way, shape, or form. And when we learn that that's true in some fashion, it allows us to do the hard work. It allows us to go, I view it like the car wash, right? As we go to the other side, we're cleansed, right? I just see the huge car wash brushes going around and you're walking through it, just like it's just stripping you down, you're cleansed. You release. I've never ever had the experience where someone's crossed over and they've been like, oh, I really regret this. I'm still mad at her for doing that. I still can't let go of that, right? Like this stuff that we drag around in our human space, it's not a thing. But it also, so it allows the space for forgiveness, but it also gives us an opportunity to look at what we have and work on self-forgiveness. And boy, is that a tough one.
Well, as a recipient of what you're talking about, I can say yes, but it also goes back to what you were saying at the beginning of the non-judgmental outlook as well. And what you do offers not only the intuitive approach and understanding my own gut, my own intuition. Am I in alignment? Am I way off-roading over here? And then if it is in a spiritual realm, you're still offering that peace of mind and the opportunity to do that kind of self-reflection and get back on course so that you can experience an even greater next chapter. And we love that. And that's really why we wanted to have you out, because, you know, if it was up to Rich, he'd plant you on a popsicle stick and wave you around like a flag somewhere.
If you're in a space where we're bombarded, our senses are bombarded all the time. We're seeing, smelling, touching, hearing, everything all the time. It's life. And when something stands out to us, it's just a little bit peculiar. Like I have this huge tree in the back that's blooming right now, and it's been blooming for probably a week. But this morning, everything just looked whiter to me. So I was just standing there looking out the window thinking, wow, it stopped me. It made me think, whoo. So when that happens, I always say, just say thank you. It's a message coming in for you. And when we say thank you, we're in a space of gratitude. When we're in a space of gratitude, our brain thinks we're safe. When our brain thinks that we're safe, it releases the endorphins, the hormones that make us happy. So just sitting looking at that tree this morning, first I was like, I can't remember what that tree is called. I wonder if that's because the sun hasn't been out. I wonder why that thing, oh my gosh, we got to get the fence replaced. I sure hope they don't hurt that tree. And I was like, no, just look at that tree. Thank you. Thank you for just pausing my life to take that in.
Yeah.
It's hard to slow down sometimes. It really is. And it's funny because I've been trying to slow down my life more and more, but it seems like the more I try to slow it down, the more I'm fighting to slow it down. And, you know, it's crazy.
As I tell you, Rich, you can't think about it. You just need to just be it. Just do it.
Yeah.
It's like wax on, wax off, or whatever that whole thing is.
She's really in the car wash groove today.
Oh.
The car's been washed. Now we're waxing it.
We're waxing it.
So, Kung Fu movie or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about?
Miyagi, Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just being there.
I love this so much. Listen, we could obviously talk to you forever, but I have a big promise to our listeners. Number one, we have to have you back out when your book comes out because we need to know more. That was just a micro glimpse at what you're creating and how cool. But I know that you brought 2 gifts today as well. So before we kind of share those gifts, can you tell us a little bit about what a group reading is?
Absolutely. Group reading is when there's more than one, and it could be 101, it could be 1,001. And instead of working with you directly in a singular reading, it's about bringing in the messages that need to come in and then finding the right person in the group that they need to go to. So you aren't guaranteed of a reading, but you can see how readings work and experience the process, and you may get a reading. Sometimes also, as we're watching other people get readings, we're like, God, that sounds like me. That sounds just like my life. That's just like me. It comes in, they piggyback. So even though a message just goes to one person, it goes to multiple. So in a group reading, it just gives you a much better opportunity to see and experience, not necessarily receive, but maybe receive a reading.
Yeah. I will tell you though, even in the business realm, when I attend a mastermind or a group coaching, just being able to be present and hear other people receive that feedback and the coaching, it's so fulfilling. And so we want to know when your next group reading is. Of course, we're on your email list. And, you know, I stalk you on Instagram. I will link your Instagram account here too, because you push out such beautiful, fun content. We're just fans. Aren't we swim fanning over Karen right now? So in order, you've gone above and beyond and you're offering.
I'm going to offer a discount for anybody who wants a reading right now. Look, some people just know I'm ready. I know what I want to do, and my gut, my nudge, my intuition says I am ready to jump right in. You can go to KarenRomine.com, go to the services tab, and use the coupon code LBD, Life by Design, LBD. You'll remember that for your coupon code and get a discount. Compliments of these 2 fabulous humans, the wards.
Oh.
Or If you feel that you want to test the water or you have some questions or you just aren't sure, I invite you to send an email to hello@KarenRomine.com. Either say, hey, I saw you on the Ward's podcast, Life by Design. Put me in. I want to know when the next group event is. I'll give you the group event date and time that's coming up next. We'll just make this forever. So whenever you happen to watch this podcast, and when you send me an email, tell me how you heard about me. I will let you know, and I will comp your ticket to the next event, to the next group event. And if you have any questions about anything you've heard here, you can certainly put them into the email. I'm happy to answer questions.
Awesome. I cannot thank you enough. And if you got value out of today, share this, tag a friend, KarenRomine.com. I mean, what an amazing human. Obviously, we love you. Thank you so much, Karen. And we'll see you as soon as your book comes out.
Thank you.
Bye for now. And hey, before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. And as always, friends don't let friends grow and develop alone. So share this episode with someone you love and care about. We'll see you in the next episode.